All right, it is fight night. Gervonta Davis versus Yuriorkis Gamboa is taking place tonight. Let's talk about that and some drama that happened in the weigh-in, but more specifically, the drama that happened in the media after drama happened in the weigh-in. And I'm sitting listening to these guys talk like, man, is this much to do about nothing or what? But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, thank you to everybody that's joined the channel. You can join the channel by hitting the join button down there. Much love to everybody on the Patreon channel that continues to support. We got major upgrades and things taking place on the Patreon page, so you guys will really enjoy it. So keep an eye out for that. Also, thank you to everybody that comes by the live streams Monday through Friday and OG Boxing Talk on Sunday with my partner, Blood Boxing, KQKC Boxing, Trap House Boxing, and my man Curtis Anderson, the boxing historian. All right, so we know that there is a fight coming tonight on Showtime. Gervonta Davis, the two-time 130-pound champion, is moving up to 135 to compete for the WBA regular title. In essence, that means that it is a non-title fight because the WBC regular belt is not a major championship belt. The WBA Super is, and if you're familiar at all with all the craziness around these belts, you'll know what I mean. It's really just not a major belt, but it is Gervonta Davis moving into a new weight class and fighting somebody that has a good name in Yuriorkis Gamboa. Now, Yuriorkis Gamboa has a good name. That does not mean that I believe Yuriorkis Gamboa is the best competition possible for Gervonta Davis. He is not. He is older guy. He's 37 years old, but it's a fight in Atlanta, so that's going to be really exciting to see the Atlanta crowd there and get to see Gervonta Davis in front of a new crowd of people. My understanding that the tickets sold very well and everybody's really excited about the event. Showtime seems as if they're taking on Gervonta Davis as their premier guy on that network. His numbers continue to go up. So I expect to have a really good, exciting event for Yuriorkis Gamboa. Now, there's also a couple other really good fights on the card. The one that I'm looking most forward to, I'm looking for the return of Jose Uzcategui, the former IBF 168-pound title guy who won his belt off of I think it was maybe for a vacant belt, or he beat Andre Durrell for that belt, and then he fought Caleb Plant and lost to Caleb Plant in what some people thought was an upset, but absolutely excellent fight to watch there. So it's good to see Jose Uzcategui back. And then, of course, you have Pascal, the 175-pound fight between Jean Pascal and Badu Jack, right? So this is going to be a big Mayweather Promotions card. And so, but it starts off kind of funny. Because at the weigh-in, Gervonta Davis weighs in and he misses weight by, I think it was 1.5 pounds. I think he was late to, first off, he was late to the weigh-in. And then secondly, he missed weight by 1.5 pounds, right? And then when he steps up on the, for the face-off for the fight, there's a long glare between he and Gervonta and Yuriorkis Gamboa, and Yuriorkis Gamboa gets shoved. Gervonta Davis, just pushes him off real quick. They're separated, melee on the stage, that type of thing. And of course, you have people putting out tweets like wondering where the security was. And I think it was Dan Rayfield said this, and I'm paraphrasing here because I ain't gonna take the time to memorize what that dude said. But he basically says that, where was the security for this? There's no security in sight, and this is for a guy that wasn't even on weight anyway. I was like, man, are you serious? First of all, what was the security supposed to do? First, number one, there was security in sight because there was a guy with a police uniform right below the stage. While these people, after everybody was separated, there was a policeman right there. So not sure what you're talking about. They had the policeman right there. But number two, what was the police officer supposed to do? Was the police officer supposed to stand right there in between Gervonta Davis and Yuriorkis Gamboa to prevent Gervonta Davis from pushing Yuriorkis Gamboa? I'm not exactly sure what the policeman who was there was supposed to do about that. Secondly, so what? Somebody got shoved at a weigh-in. Those were two fighters that shoved each other. It's not like it was a situation where, like earlier on another Showtime card, where there was drama that happened in the lobby, right? Which honestly could have happened on the street. Jeez Louise. I mean, I don't even understand. What do you think you can do when you have that many people around? You think you're going to have like a policeman for every person that's there standing right next to to another person that's there? Just, hey man, one security guy for people that walk in, so we make sure that two people can never fight. But anyway, the accusation that there was no security there is just flat out false, because if you look at the highlight again, you'll see a policeman right there during the breakup, and you have somebody in the ear of the policeman pointing and telling him what happened, and then it broke off and everything was fine. So first things first, that conversation about security to me sounds a little bit nitpicky. Number two, missing weight for Gervonta Davis. What did that have to do with the price of tea in China? What does that have to do with Gervonta Davis getting shoved? As if Gervonta Davis weighed 1.5 pounds less, he would have been, it would have been, if he weighed 1.5 pounds less, it would have been okay for him to shove him. What's the connection? It seems to me like the guys are just trying to find something to complain about and trying to, spin some narrative that Gervonta Davis is some kind of wild animal. Man, it's a boxing match. They're going to do a lot worse to each other tomorrow night than a two-handed push on the shoulders. If Gervonta Davis wanted to hit the guy, Gervonta Davis could have hauled off and hit him, but that didn't happen. So I don't understand what the big deal is. The other thing that I don't understand what the big deal is, he made weight. He didn't make weight on the first go around. He didn't make weight. He didn't miss weight on his first go. It didn't make the weight on his first weigh-in. But so what? He made it on the second. He paid a fine. That's within the rules. He made weight. The belt's on the line. He came in at 134.8 pounds. What's the big deal? It's not as if, he came in 4 and 5 pounds over the weight limit. There were fighters recently that came 4 or 5 pounds over the weight limit and there was no discussions whatsoever about making that fight. Shoot, I think that's what Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. came in against Danny Jacobs, like 4 or 5 pounds overweight. Hey man, if he missed weight, he missed weight. But if he didn't miss weight, he didn't miss weight. So hey man, I'm quite sure there'll be other things to complain about with Gervonta Davis other than those two particular things. Now, one of the things after this fight that I think is reasonable for people to start complaining about is if after this fight, Gervonta Davis doesn't fight somebody at 135 pounds, that is a legitimate, there's a legitimate challenger to him, right? Now, I'm not saying he's going to be able to fight for a real title or the significant titles at that weight division next, because those are pretty much all tied up. You've got the WBC is vacant, and that's Luke Campbell fighting Javier Fortuna. Then you have the unification fight coming up between Teofimo Lopez and Vasily Lomachenko. So it's not really practical for the next fight for Gervonta Davis to be against one of those guys. But hey, man, it could be for the winner again of Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna. I think that would be a good fight for Tank either way. Or you got guys like fight Richard Comey, something like that. See if he can be the second guy to dust off Richard Comey. But whatever the scenario is, man, I don't see too much of a big deal about what was going on in what happened in Atlanta yesterday. As far as him being late to the weigh-in, yeah, he's probably trying to make weight at a certain time. Who knows? He's moving up in weight. He made 130 pounds in his last fight. He wound up on the second attempt making 135 in this fight. Maybe they need to work on calibrating their scales or get their timing together, whatever the case is. But in this situation, all's well that ends well. The guy made weight. It is what it is. I'm looking forward to the fight. More than likely, I'm going to be calling the fight on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section.